For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On the morning of August 12, 1997, 34-year-old Nathan Harper left his vehicle near an uncharted dome in Yosemite National Park, California. He never returned. Despite an extensive search involving park rangers, helicopters, and tracking dogs, Nathan vanished without a trace. For 27 years, his family lived with agonizing uncertainty, clinging to the hope of finding answers. Then, in the spring of 2024, a group of spelunkers exploring a remote limestone cave made a chilling discovery. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Nathan Harper in the vast wilderness of Yosemite. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now let's continue. August in Yosemite National Park. Towering granite cliffs, ancient sequoias, and the roar of cascading waterfalls. A haven for nature enthusiasts, hikers, and those seeking solace in the wilderness. For Nathan Harper, a 34-year-old Army veteran, it was a sanctuary. He'd spent years exploring the park's marked trails, but this trip was different. Nathan, an experienced backpacker, was drawn to the challenge of an uncharted dome, a remote area rarely explored. He meticulously planned his route, packing supplies for a multi-day trek. His sister, Whitney Lang, recalled his excitement in the days leading up to the trip, his meticulous preparation, and the detailed map he'd marked with his intended path. On August 12, 1997, Nathan arrived at Yosemite, signed the trail register at the ranger station, and set off. Park rangers confirmed his entry, noting his vehicle, a well-worn Jeep Cherokee, parked near the trailhead. 2 days later, a fellow hiker reported seeing a man matching Nathan's description near the base of the dome, his pack secured, heading deeper into the wilderness. This was the last confirmed sighting of Nathan Harper. Days turned into weeks. Nathan's failure to return prompted a search and rescue operation. Park rangers, aided by volunteers and search dogs, combed the rugged terrain. The sheer scale of Yosemite, with its vast wilderness and treacherous cliffs, presented formidable challenges. Helicopters scanned the area from above, their rotors beating against the silence of the mountains. Search teams rappelled down steep ravines and navigated dense thickets, their efforts hampered by the challenging topography. Ranger John Riley, a veteran of countless search and rescue missions, recalled the intensity of the search, the unwavering hope of finding Nathan alive, and the growing sense of despair as each day passed without a trace. The initial search yielded nothing. No sign of Nathan, his pack, or any indication of his whereabouts. His meticulously planned route seemed to vanish into thin air. As summer faded into autumn, the search was scaled back, leaving behind a gnawing uncertainty and a family grappling with the unanswered questions surrounding Nathan's disappearance. The mystery of what happened to Nathan Harper in the vast wilderness of Yosemite National Park remained unsolved, a chilling reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wild and the fragility of human life. The initial investigation into Nathan Harper's disappearance began immediately. Park rangers, working in conjunction with the local sheriff's department, launched a comprehensive effort to piece together the events leading up to his vanishing. They meticulously reviewed the trail register, confirming Nathan's intended route, and interviewed park staff and visitors who might have crossed paths with him. The search area was expanded, encompassing not only the uncharted dome Nathan intended to explore but also the surrounding trails and wilderness areas. Early theories emerged, each explored with varying degrees of intensity. Had Nathan simply lost his way in the vastness of the park? The rugged terrain and unpredictable weather could easily disorient even experienced hikers. The possibility of an animal attack, though less likely given the lack of any physical evidence, couldn't be entirely dismissed. An accidental fall, perhaps while scaling the treacherous cliffs, was another grim possibility. Investigators meticulously examined Nathan's abandoned Jeep, searching for clues within its contents. His camping gear, meticulously organized, offered no immediate answers. His detailed map, marked with his intended route, provided a starting point but no indication of where he might have deviated or encountered trouble. Interviews with family and friends painted a picture of a meticulous planner, a skilled outdoorsman unlikely to take unnecessary risks. Whitney Lang, Nathan's sister, recounted his meticulous preparation for the trip, emphasizing his experience and knowledge of the park. Investigators pored over aerial photographs, scrutinizing the landscape for any sign of disturbance or a possible campsite. They consulted with experienced climbers and park rangers familiar with the area, seeking insights into the potential hazards and challenges Nathan might have faced. Detective Michael Ramirez, the lead investigator on the case, recalled the frustration of the early days, the abundance of possibilities, and the scarcity of concrete leads. The lack of any physical evidence, beyond Nathan's abandoned vehicle, hampered the investigation, leaving them with more questions than answers. As months passed, the initial urgency of the search waned. The investigation, though still active, shifted to a lower priority as other cases demanded attention. The leads dwindled, the theories remained unproven, and the mystery of Nathan Harper's disappearance deepened. By the spring of 1998, the case officially went cold, a devastating blow to Nathan's family, who were left with the agonizing uncertainty of his fate. The vast wilderness of Yosemite, once a source of solace and adventure for Nathan, now held a dark secret, a mystery that seemed destined to remain unsolved. The years that followed Nathan Harper's disappearance were a slow, agonizing descent into uncertainty for his family and friends. The initial shock and disbelief gradually gave way to a profound sense of loss, compounded by the lack of closure. Birthdays passed, holidays came and went, each a painful reminder of Nathan's absence. Whitney Lang, his sister, became the family's spokesperson, tirelessly advocating for her brother, keeping his memory alive, and pushing for answers. She organized vigils, contacted media outlets, and maintained regular contact with law enforcement, determined to keep the case from being forgotten. The Harper family clung to the hope that one day, somehow, they would learn what happened to Nathan. Over the years, occasional tips trickled in, whispers of possible sightings, rumors of hikers gone missing in similar circumstances. Each lead, however faint, was meticulously investigated, only to lead to dead ends. A faded photograph found tucked away in a hiker's journal, a tattered piece of clothing discovered snagged on a branch, each sparked a flicker of hope, quickly extinguished by the harsh reality of the evidence. The rugged terrain of Yosemite, with its vast wilderness and hidden crevices, seemed to hold its secrets close. The park, once a place of shared joy and adventure for Nathan and his family, now held a somber significance, a constant reminder of their unanswered questions. The case remained a cold file, gathering dust in the archives of the sheriff's department, a testament to the enduring mystery of Nathan's fate. As time marched on, a new activity began to gain popularity in the Yosemite region: spelunking. The park's unique geology, with its intricate network of limestone caves and underground passages, attracted adventurers seeking a different kind of wilderness experience. Groups of experienced spelunkers, equipped with ropes, harnesses, and headlamps, ventured into the darkness, exploring the hidden world beneath the iconic granite peaks. Unbeknownst to them, deep within one of these unexplored caves, lay a clue that would finally unravel the mystery of Nathan Harper's disappearance, a silent witness waiting to be discovered. The echo of his name, though faint, had never truly faded, and soon, the whispers of the past would resurface with a shocking discovery. 27 years after Nathan Harper vanished, the silence of a deep limestone cave was broken. A group of experienced spelunkers, exploring a newly discovered section of the cave system, stumbled upon a chilling relic. Their headlamps cut through the darkness, illuminating the narrow passage as they carefully navigated the uneven floor. One member of the group, Sarah Jenkins, noticed something lodged in a crevice, partially obscured by fallen rocks. It appeared to be a heavily weathered hiking boot, its leather cracked and faded. As Jenkins reached for the boot, dislodging it from its rocky tomb, a small, bone fragment tumbled out, a bullet visibly embedded in the aged leather. The spelunkers, seasoned explorers of the underground world, recognized the gravity of their discovery. This was no ordinary lost piece of equipment, it was a potential piece of a tragic puzzle. The presence of a bullet lodged in the boot suggested a darker narrative, a story of violence and loss. They immediately ceased their exploration, carefully documenting the location of the find and preserving the boot and bone fragment. Recognizing the potential connection to a missing person case, they contacted the Yosemite National Park authorities. Ranger Samantha Lee, a seasoned park ranger with a reputation for meticulousness, was assigned to the case. Upon receiving the spelunker's report and examining the recovered boot, Ranger Lee felt a surge of both excitement and apprehension. The condition of the boot, its age and state of decay, suggested it had been hidden for a considerable time. The bone fragment, still partially encased in the leather, and the presence of the bullet were chilling indicators of a potential crime. Ranger Lee oversaw the careful transport of the boot and bone fragment to the park's forensic laboratory. The evidence, now bagged and tagged, was about to undergo a series of tests that could potentially unlock a decades-old mystery. Forensic analysts began their painstaking examination of the boot. The bullet, carefully extracted from the leather, was subjected to ballistic testing. The bone fragment, meticulously cleaned and preserved, underwent DNA analysis. And then, a seemingly insignificant detail caught the eye of one of the analysts. A set of initials, NH, meticulously engraved on a small metal eyelet of the boot. A search of the park's missing person records revealed a match. Nathan Harper, missing since August 1997. The initials, the age of the boot, and the location of the discovery all pointed towards a chilling possibility. The spelunkers had stumbled upon the remains of a man lost for nearly 3 decades. The silent cave had finally yielded its secret. The discovery of the hiking boot and bone fragment reignited the investigation into Nathan Harper's disappearance, transforming a cold case into an active homicide investigation. Ranger Samantha Lee, now leading the renewed effort, approached the case with a blend of determination and cautious optimism. The 27 years that had passed presented unique challenges, but the tangible evidence offered a starting point that had been missing for decades. The ballistic analysis of the bullet extracted from the boot provided the first significant breakthrough. The bullet was identified as a .38 special, a common caliber, but the markings on the slug, unique to the firearm that fired it, provided a crucial link. The markings were entered into a national database, cross-referencing ballistics data from other crimes. The results pointed to a .38 special revolver purchased in 1996 by Felix Thompson, a resident of a small town bordering Yosemite National Park. Thompson's name raised immediate red flags. He had a history of minor offenses, including poaching and trespassing within the park boundaries. More concerning, however, was his alleged involvement in illegal gold panning operations within the protected wilderness areas. Dr. Thomas Patel, a renowned forensic anthropologist, was brought in to examine the bone fragment recovered from the boot. His analysis revealed distinct cut marks on the bone, indicating it had been severed with a sharp instrument. The location and nature of the cuts suggested dismemberment, a chilling revelation that pointed towards a deliberate act of violence. The emerging picture was becoming increasingly grim. The investigation shifted its focus to Felix Thompson, his past activities, and his potential connection to Nathan Harper. Investigators learned that Thompson had established an illegal mining operation in a remote area of the park, not far from where Nathan was last seen. The operation, though small, was lucrative, and Thompson was fiercely protective of his claim. Whitney Lang, Nathan's sister, provided a crucial piece of the puzzle. In an emotional interview, she recalled a conversation with Nathan shortly before his disappearance. Nathan, a passionate conservationist, had expressed his concern about the environmental damage caused by illegal mining in the park. He confided in Whitney that he intended to report any illegal activity he encountered during his hike, believing it was his duty to protect the wilderness he loved. This revelation provided a potential motive for Thompson's involvement in Nathan's disappearance. If Nathan had stumbled upon Thompson's illegal operation and threatened to expose him, Thompson might have viewed him as a threat he was willing to eliminate. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, painting a disturbing picture of a confrontation in the wilderness, a desperate act of violence, and a decades-long cover-up. The investigation, once cold and dormant, was now a race against time to uncover the truth and bring justice to Nathan Harper and his family. The interrogation of Felix Thompson began calmly. He initially denied any knowledge of Nathan Harper or his disappearance. He portrayed himself as a solitary prospector, harmlessly pursuing his passion for gold in the remote corners of the park. He downplayed the scale of his mining operation, claiming it was a small-time hobby, not a significant commercial enterprise. However, as the interrogation progressed, the weight of the evidence began to mount against him. Ranger Lee presented the ballistic report, linking the bullet found in Nathan's boot to Thompson's revolver. She laid out the forensic anthropologist's findings, detailing the cut marks on the bone fragment and the chilling implication of dismemberment. She recounted Whitney Lang's testimony, highlighting Nathan's intention to report illegal mining activity in the park, establishing a clear motive for Thompson's involvement. With each piece of evidence presented, Thompson's composure began to crack. His denials became less forceful, his explanations more convoluted. The pressure of the interrogation, the undeniable link between him and the evidence, began to erode his carefully constructed facade. Finally, confronted with the overwhelming evidence and the unwavering gaze of Ranger Lee, Felix Thompson confessed. He admitted to encountering Nathan Harper in the wilderness near his illegal mining operation. He recounted how Nathan had confronted him about the environmental damage he was causing, threatening to report him to the authorities. Thompson, fearing the loss of his livelihood and the potential legal repercussions, panicked. He lured Nathan into the limestone cave, claiming he wanted to show him something. Inside the darkness of the cave, Thompson shot Nathan. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the cavern, a final, fatal punctuation mark in Nathan's life. In a chilling detail, Thompson confessed to dismembering Nathan's body, attempting to conceal his crime and prevent identification. He then scattered the remains in the remote wilderness, hoping they would never be found. The confession, delivered in a low, monotone voice, sent a wave of shock and revulsion through the interrogation room. The investigators, hardened professionals accustomed to the grim realities of their work, were nonetheless shaken by the brutality of the crime and the calculated nature of the cover-up. For Nathan's family, the confession brought a mixture of relief and agonizing confirmation. The uncertainty that had plagued them for decades was finally lifted, replaced by the devastating truth of Nathan's fate. Whitney Lang, though heartbroken by the details of her brother's murder, expressed a sense of closure, a profound gratitude for the dedication of Ranger Lee and the investigators who finally brought her brother's killer to justice. The confession of Felix Thompson marked a turning point in the case, a breakthrough that brought an end to a 27-year-old mystery and paved the way for justice to be served. The trial of Felix Thompson captivated the nation, a stark reminder of the enduring power of justice and the resilience of the human spirit. The courtroom was packed, filled with reporters, members of the public, and most importantly, the family and friends of Nathan Harper. The prosecution presented a meticulous case, laying out the evidence piece by piece. The ballistic report, the forensic analysis of the bone fragment, and the chilling confession of Felix Thompson formed the cornerstone of their argument. Ranger Samantha Lee delivered a powerful testimony, recounting the discovery of the boot, the painstaking investigation, and the eventual unraveling of Thompson's carefully constructed lies. Her calm demeanor and unwavering commitment to the truth resonated with the jury, painting a vivid picture of a dedicated law enforcement officer determined to bring a killer to justice. Whitney Lang's testimony was perhaps the most impactful. She spoke eloquently about her brother, his love of nature, his unwavering sense of justice, and the devastating impact his disappearance had on their family. Her words, filled with both grief and a quiet strength, moved the courtroom to tears, humanizing the victim and reminding everyone present that Nathan Harper was more than just a name on a cold case file. He was a son, a brother, a friend, a man whose life was tragically cut short. The defense argued that Thompson's confession was coerced, that the evidence was circumstantial, and that there was reasonable doubt about his guilt. However, the weight of the evidence, combined with the compelling testimonies of Ranger Lee and Whitney Lang, proved insurmountable. After days of deliberation, the jury returned a unanimous verdict, guilty of first-degree murder. A collective gasp filled the courtroom, followed by a hushed silence. For the Harper family, the verdict brought a sense of closure, a validation of their unwavering belief that justice would eventually prevail. The judge, in his sentencing remarks, acknowledged the heinous nature of the crime, the calculated cover-up, and the profound impact it had on the victim's family. He sentenced Felix Thompson to life in prison without the possibility of parole, a sentence that reflected the gravity of his actions and ensured that he would never again pose a threat to society. The conviction of Felix Thompson had wider implications beyond the resolution of a single case. It spurred a renewed focus on illegal mining activities within Yosemite National Park, leading to increased patrols, stricter regulations, and a crackdown on unauthorized operations. The case also highlighted the importance of forensic science in solving cold cases, demonstrating how advancements in technology and investigative techniques can unlock mysteries that once seemed impenetrable. In the years following the trial, Yosemite National Park established a memorial to Nathan Harper near the trailhead where he began his final journey. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of life, the importance of preserving our natural wonders, and the enduring power of hope and perseverance in the face of tragedy. The case of Nathan Harper, though marked by darkness and loss, ultimately became a testament to the strength of the human spirit, the unwavering pursuit of justice, and the enduring legacy of a man who loved the wilderness and sought to protect its beauty for generations to come.